Is this any better? Any better? Any better on the sound? I know it's better on the picture. This is iPhone 10ish. Hello, Logan. Is it any better, my friend? Yes, perfect sound. Great. Great, great, great. Awesome. Let's start over, guys. Good, 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 good. Screw these iPhone 8s. I'm totally done with this. I'm going to the store tomorrow, buying the iPhone 10. This freaking thing, this picture that I'm seeing is so much better than the one that it was on the 8. I am literally going to Verizon tomorrow and trading in this piece of crap $1,000 iPhone 8 and getting the iPhone 10. We are back. We are back in good sound. We're going to Peggy Henderson is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, probably the second female fan of the New Age Revolution is in the house. I assume Peggy is a female. Whoa, welcome back, everybody. All right, we are back. Jeff Robinson again was talking about the Four Horsemen with Barry Windham and Lex Luger. And yeah, so that's what we were talking about when we left off. We were talking about incarnations of the Four Horsemen. Thank you, Joe Kneesteel. Welcome. So there are a lot of people dropping into this live show that I have not that weren't in previous live shows. And the last one I did was like a year ago. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah, so now we're rocking the iPhone 10. This obviously works a lot better. And this is making me literally go to Verizon tomorrow and get an iPhone 10 and upgrade my iPhone. We're having some glitches. What are you talking about, Logan? Glitches? Oh. Anybody else having glitches? I hope not. I hope Logan is just being. You come off. Digga, you come off as a quitter by switching. Digga, I am here to provide you the most quality entertainment. And if I have to turn in my cheap phone, my cheap iPhone 8, early and pay a $200 cancellation fee just to make your viewing experience better, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right, so yes, we're having glitches, but not frequent. That one's beyond me. I have no idea. Oh, I see it. I see what you're talking about. I'm seeing it on my end. I'm seeing it on my the view that I have. Well, this is just turning into a bust, isn't it? We've only got 8 of the 20 that were here before. Now one has dropped off. We're down to 7. What is going on? The New 80s Revolution is not used to 8 people in the live chat. Let's get these people in here. Peggy Henderson, how are you? How did you find the channel, Peggy? I'd like to know how the female population stumbled upon a nerdy guy sitting in his basement talking about the 80s. Is anybody here from the Facebook 80s page? Logan says this has been a good time talking to you. Well, stick around, Logan. It's only just begun, man. It's 9:26. I'm here until at least 3 a.m. And as we knock back a few more of these STs, who knows what's going to happen tonight. Logan is leaving us. It's okay, Logan. There'll be many more live shows in the future. Hopefully ones with a microphone. Peggy says, found out just looking for 80s stuff. All right, well, there we go. You look for 80s stuff on the YouTube and you find the new 80s revolution. Oh, Logan's not leaving. I don't know. I want to know where everybody else is. Before we took off, we had 20 people in this stream, in this live show, and now we're still at 8. Come on, everybody, get back in here. I'm going to text my man Bobby Campbell and tell him to jump in here. He needs to be with us in the stream. My clock says 7. Hey, Logan, where? Oh yeah, I know where you're from, Logan. Yeah, we're working Eastern Standard Time over here, man. I'm texting Bobby Campbell. Join the stream. Bobby Campbell is a big fan of the show, and Bobby Campbell is the first celebrity to I'm world champion kickboxer who has been who fought on undercard Pacquiao fight. I think it was Manny Pacquiao. Bobby Campbell is our celebrity friend here. Do I watch normal or do I watch modern WWE? Says Normal Joe. No, honestly, I don't. I know what's going on. I'll read about it. But I don't watch it. I don't watch anything right now except my old footage, and I'm really looking forward to AEW. Do I think it's going to be like the greatest thing in the world? No, but it's all I know is it's going to be on like a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on TNT, and what says, you know, classic 90s, but classic wrestling like 8 o'clock TNT. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So it's going to take me back, you know, a decade and a half, but I'm gonna enjoy AEW. Logan Dowdy, I like the Killer Bees tag team. I did enjoy them as well. I didn't like the mask gimmick that they had. Digga Dirt says, I lost my job, been out of work for a couple months, got a new job, and was let go after my first day because I failed the drug screen. Guess what drug I had in my system? Digga Dirt. I don't know what to say to that. I'm sorry to hear. My guess is that you had some Pizzot in your stream. Not good. Joe Kneesteel says, I found you on YouTube close to a year ago. I found you by searching for things I grew up on and still love. I'm 36. Awesome. Seems like we have the same interests. I think we do too. And I love hearing that. I love hearing why people or how people discovered the channel. We're all here for the same reason. And that's what I like about this channel. This is what I like about my own channel. Is that people here, we never get any fights in the comment section. I only get a couple thumbs down, and I know who's doing that, and I'm not worried about it. But I go on other channels and I see like all this fighting in the comments and all this ridiculousness. Everybody who watches this channel is here for a reason. So nobody ever has anything negative to say, which is awesome. And I really like that. Except maybe, you know, Christian Hafer, the Hafernator, if you're here watching live, he's always got something negative to say about something that I like. But that's why we love the Hafernator. Logan, we got 11 now. We're up to 14. That's good. All those guys that I lost during that first audio problem are coming back. Stotlerman says, how many house shows do you have? Hundreds. I have house shows, and you're going to get into it soon when we start reviewing 1983. I'm up to August 1982. I just started an MSG show. My kid go at it. So it's a really classic show. Once I make my way through 82, I'm going to start reviewing 83 shows like we talked about, I don't know, like 2 years ago. How many house shows do I have? I have house shows from like 79 to 89. So tons. I mean, tons. Hundreds. Digger, yes, it was weed in California where it's legal. It is legal in California. Digga, come on, you know the tricks of the trade, man. You can't take a drug test and still have weed in your system. You gotta wait a couple weeks, man. Gotta wait. Josh Sexton says, "Hi, Jason. Josh Sexton, please forgive me, but I am not familiar with you. Are you new to this channel? If so, how did you find us? Welcome aboard. Glad you're here." Logan said, "I found you up looking up AWA Remcos. Now we got 14. Awesome. Yes, we do. We have 15 now." Mike Tulino, you mean house shows on video? Yes, that's what he means. Blake, 1980. I got a Harley race MOC LJN. How much do you think it's worth? Probably 250. If you put it up on eBay, buy it now 300. Somebody might jump on it at 300. If you put a best offer, you shouldn't settle for less than for 250. If you put it up for auction, it could go crazy. It could, you could get unlucky and it could sell for 190 bucks. But off the top of my head, it's a $250 figure. Look at this face. You know why I'm making this face? Because my man Big Beefcake is in the house. Big Beefcake is in the house. And we got all of our guys back from the previous stream because Toby Atkinson is here. But my man Big Beefcake is in the house. And the Beefer and I are working on something special. Everybody here needs to go check out Big Beefcake's YouTube page. And I used to call it Big Beefcake Gaming, but apparently he dropped the gaming. He got the gaming out. And now it's Big Beefcake. Go check him out. I love this guy, and we're working on kind of a dual project together. Go check out his Saturday Night Horror series, and you might see the New 80s Revolution on an upcoming episode of Saturday Night Horror with the Beefer. Logan Dowdy, I seen a video about Hogan talking about how he thought Antonio Inoki, and it showed a video on the fight, how he fought. Yeah, and great battles, Hogan and Inoki in Japan. Toby Atkinson, Tex Whiskey is in the house. Big Beefcake, I appreciate that, my friend. Beer on me, Beefer. I don't think you drink beer. You told me that you're like CM Punk. You guys don't even want to know what I'm drinking. Ugh. You ready for this? Fireball. Why? Why Fireball? Because I'm 23 and I'm in college. That's why. Stotler Man says, "Do you still buy LJN wrestlers when you see them?" No. I don't sell on eBay anymore. And the only reason I would buy an LJN now, except Pink Skirt Elizabeth, Purple Skirt Elizabeth, which I need because I'm a loser, and I sold my copy because somebody made me a ridiculous offer, a $500 offer on Purple Skirt Liz. And I sold it. And I don't know why. I didn't need the money. I don't know why I sold it. I'm so mad at myself. It takes me back, 20 years ago when I sold all of my original LJNs. That's how angry I am at myself. So the only LJN that I need to buy is Purple Skirt Liz that I owned 6 months ago and don't anymore. And I'm going to pay the price to get her back. Yes, Hogan was IWGP title holder during that fight. When I met Hogan, he wore a Hogan Japanese t-shirt, and it looked awesome. I loved it. I have to find Jeff Robinson is here. You made it. Jeff is here. Are you literally laying in a hospital bed watching the live New 80s Revolution? That is amazing. Bring in some of those nurses. I hope you got some decent looking nurses taking care of you. Jeff Robinson again, everybody. Jeff Robinson, a longtime fan of the channel, a longtime friend of the channel. Somebody who has been a referee in the wrestling business. And we got to get that guy healthy. So give him all of your thoughts and prayers, Jeff Robinson. Like CM Punk minus the whining. Yeah. Jeff Robinson met Miss Elizabeth once at the airport. That's amazing. Tom Campbell is in the house. Tom Campbell. Tom Campbell is the brother of the New 80s Revolution's first celebrity fan, celebrity follower, celebrity friend now at this point. Bobby Campbell's brother, Jeff Campbell's in the house. Sorry, sorry, Jeff. I don't want to give you the Jan Brady treatment, okay? Bobby Campbell's brother is here, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Campbell. Andrew Lascelle is in the house. If LJN would have come out a year earlier, who do you think would have been in the initial series? That's a good question because I'm currently watching WWF footage from 1982. So that would have been around 80. So there's some confusion about when did LJN first hit shelves, 84, 85. So I'm thinking Pedro Morales because he was as big a star as ever, or as any, in 82 and 83 and 84. Not so much 84, but 83. Probably Bob Backlund, the Wild Samoans. Maybe Rocky Johnson or Tony Atlas. Maybe not. Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe Tony Gurria. I know you're like, why Tony Gurria? Trust me, I'm watching a lot of footage from that era, and Tony Gurria is popular. And now I see the lag. I see the lag on my end. That's not good. I don't like that. I'm seeing the lag. All right, it stopped. I don't like the lag. I don't know why. All right. Pro Wrestling Tees has it. Pro Wrestling Tees has what, Stotler, man? I'm so far behind I missed. This is easily my favorite toy channel. Thank you, Andrew. It is my favorite. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Superstar Graham. Sure. Absolutely. Awfully face heavy. What do you mean, Andrew? Oh, yeah. No, I know what you mean. I agree. Slaughter, yes, maybe an official Slaughter. If they were doing managers, maybe the Grand Wizard. Maybe the Strongbow brothers, Chief Jay Strongbow and Jules Strongbow, were very popular in that time. New 80s Revolution, what is your favorite arena? So I'm going to base that on house shows that I have. Madison Square Garden by far. And I know that's an easy cop-out answer. But watching, WWF saved the big stuff for Madison Square Garden on purpose, right? That was their main home. That was their hub. And so we had the Philadelphia Spectrum. We had the Cap Center in Maryland. We had the Philadelphia Spectrum. Did I say that? I said that. We had Boston Gardens. And stuff was going to happen at those arenas back then and did happen. But Madison Square Garden is where stuff happened. And you want to talk about an atmosphere, an environment for pro wrestling in the early 80s, watch Madison Square Garden stuff. That crowd is a true fanatical crowd for wrestling. It's so fun to watch how involved the crowd gets. My leg is falling asleep like you wouldn't believe, brother. All right, Ricky is in the house. Ricky Bibu is in the house. I'm from Minnesota, favorite wrestler to come out of the AWA, then to the WWF. Great question. And I love that you're from Minnesota because you had to have grown up on AWA wrestling. Favorite? I mean, it's easy to say Hogan, but we're not going to go there. We're not even going to, we'll get more creative than that. During that period of time, Dr. D. David Schultz, Jesse Ventura, Adrian Adonis, Bobby Heenan, Mean Gene, even, all came from the AWA and made massive impacts on the WWF. Let's see, what do we got? Jeff Robinson, LJN was face heavy, but that was to, you guys are texting. You guys are coming in pretty hard. Let me catch up here. Jeff Robinson, LJN was face heavy, but that was to sell figures. Sure, of course. Eric Munez is in the house. Have you gave the promotion MLW watch yet? I haven't watched it yet. My leg. I read about it. I read the results. I know that like Brian Pillman Jr. is heavily involved in that, and who else? Isn't Davey Boy Smith maybe in there? But no, I want MLW. You're right. NWA Hungarian guy says NWA is coming back, and that's great. I'm glad to see that the NWA is going to be coming back to TV. So we're going to get AEW. We can easily find MLW, and we can easily find NWA when it comes out. That's an exciting time for wrestling. I'm looking forward, very forward to AEW making its debut. Jeff Robinson says we never got WWF here live until '89 in Norfolk, Virginia. Why do I want to say Norfolk, Tennessee? That's not a real place, is it? Where are you from, Jeff Robinson? Toby Atkinson, Tex Whiskey says the Wild Desperados versus the British Bulldogs in a cage match for the PACW Tag Team Champions. Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be something that happened in PACW. And if you were here earlier when a few folks were asking what is up with PACW, and I'm like, I don't know. It's in my head. It's right over there, right? Those are all the guys, and there's the ring right there, and we could just spin the camera around and have a match, and it'd be fine. I know that you guys would like it. That's the thing. I know you would like anything that I put out there, but I'm like, I want it to be perfect. But yeah, that would be an amazing match. Diga, do you have every match from your house show library logged? I saw WWF at the Ventura. There's the glitch again. I can see it happening. Do I have every match logged? No, not yet. And not yet is a bad answer because I've already started. I don't, but I have. There's a website, Graham Cawthon, I think, Cawthon, has, and I don't know if it's a website. It was a really old website. I'm talking like, early internet days, where he lists every house show match, every Saturday night main event, every championship. He has basically the WWF like results from the 60s to, I don't know, Raw. And I printed them all out. So I have this big binder full of matches. So yes, I do have them cataloged. No, I didn't write them myself. Andrew LaSalle says, if NWA had a toy line to oppose Remco and LJN, who do you think it would have been with? I think Kenner. And who would have been in the initial series? Great question. But it hurts my brain because it's a fantasy. It's like it should have happened. So we had LJN, we had Remco. So who would the third company have been? So back in 84, 85, who were the main players in the toy world? We had Kenner, we had Mattel, we had Hasbro. And so who was active in the action figure world back then? Kenner, both figures. Who made the real Ghostbusters? That was Kenner. G.I. Joe was Hasbro. So would Hasbro have jumped into the line? Hasbro was really busy with G.I. Joe. So I don't know. Maybe Kenner, maybe Hasbro. Who would have been in the first series? NWA, let's say 85. So we're going to go with Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, Ric Flair, Nikita Koloff, and oh man, 85 NWA. Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Magnum TA, Nikita Koloff, and I don't know, for fun, they always throw in somebody. Let's go with Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. Logan Dowdy, I saw a video of WWE on top 10 of Tag Team Championship wins, and it features the British Bulldogs versus Greg Valentine and Beefcake at WrestleMania 2, and the Bulldogs won the titles. Yes. If everybody's asking questions, just give me some time. I'll catch up. I'll get to your question eventually. I was at WrestleMania 2. Oh, good one, Jeff Robinson. Good one, Rock and Roll Express. I was at WrestleMania 2, not officially. I was not at any of it. So WrestleMania 2 was done in 3 locations. WrestleMania 1 was a ridiculous success. WrestleMania 2, they decide, hey, let's split it up. Let's get funky. Let's do it in 3 locations. Not a good idea. But I went to an arena in town here. It was actually in Rochester, New York, and and I watched WrestleMania 2 on closed circuit. And I remember the moment. This is funny. This is a true story. The moment, the person that took me was my cousin Kevin, who was of drinking age. We were walking back from the concession stands. He had a beer, and at the moment so we're walking back to our seats, and the British Bulldogs win the title. I jump up I was 9 years old at the time. I jump up like an animal, and scream, and I knock his beer all over himself. He has to sit for the rest of the show soaked in beer. True story. True story. Mike Tolina, I'm pretty sure just about every Hogan house show match ended in a DQ. Yeah. Well, you had to keep the opponent hot for the return match. And as I'm watching a lot of MSG house shows, that happens a great deal. If you beat the heel in the main event in January, then you have to have some bogus finish, keep the heat on the heel, and then sell out the next month's show with a rematch. Sorry about the glitching. I'm noticing it on my end too. These brief buffering, not sure why. All right, we at here. Andrew says in LJN Series 2, was Orndorff a face or a heel? If a heel, that would have been 4 heels and 2 faces. That's some are saying that Orndorff was in an extended version of Series 1, but he's not. He's in Series 2. That's 86. Is it 86? I gotta say heel. I gotta say that's a heel Orndorff. It's a good question. Jeff Robinson's in Norfolk, Virginia. I'm surprised that the WWF didn't make it to you earlier, being an East Coast company. John says, Jason, did you watch Tessa versus Sammy? I did not. Read all of the... if it was 85, then Orndorff, I'm going to say, was heel. I mean, he was heel in March of 85 at WrestleMania 1, but then flipped. Maybe he was face. Maybe that was face Orndorff that was made. I'm going to go with face Orndorff because he turned face in April of 85. WrestleMania was March of 85. Piper did the whole thing with him in April. I'm going to say he was face. I didn't see Tessa versus Sammy, read all about it. I don't know how I feel about boy-girl wrestling. I don't know. How was it? I don't know. I do have a ton of respect for Tessa. Do you ever watch Ryder and Hawkins go on figure hunts, says Stollerman? Okay. People probably are going to be disappointed at this answer. I got to itch my nose. I'm not picking it. I promise. It itches. Zack Ryder's doing everything that I want to do with his WWE salary. Zack Ryder has so many figures that I want to have. So I don't watch Zack Ryder because I want to be Zack Ryder. And there's maybe something in the works. This is a New 80s Revolution breaking news. Breaking news. There may be something in the works where I, the New 80s Revolution, gets my hands on something of the quality of the rarity that Zack Ryder collects. I've got a source, I've got a scoop, I've got a person that I'm in communications with. I'm not supposed to tell you who it is, but I've been offered a couple of things that have never been sold before, that never made it past the prototype stage, something along the lines of what Zack Ryder collects. I've been offered them for a very decent price, but still a lot of money. Not the Killer Khan LJN. I was offered that. It was $2,500, and I did not. There were only 5 released, 5 made. I did not get in on that, but there is an opportunity for me to spend $1,800 to bring a couple of extremely rare, not Hasbro Greg Valentine. I wouldn't spend money on that. I want to be in the LJN era. I have an opportunity to buy something for $1,800 that has never been. It would just be something of mine, and nobody else in the world would have it. Um, do I have $1,800? Sure. I'm just, you know, nope, not a Slaughter prototype. I'm just Jackie's in the house. I'm just cautious about spending that kind of money. If I was a greedy, no, Adrian Adonis with scarf sold for a lot. Not Bad News Brown. Okay, I'll tell you. It's so there's an old catalog out there, an old LJN catalog from a trade show, that showed the Rock and Wrestling collection. So the Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling cartoon was gonna release vehicles from the cartoon to go with figures, and the figures I think were going to be articulated, but those never made it to the light of saw the light of day. But the vehicles are out there they're not out there. They're in the home, in the collection of one particular person. Again, I he's asked not to be outed. And once I can talk about him, I will. And in fact, once I can interview him, I will. He's already agreed to that, but he wants to sell me something. And I basically tracked him down and begged him to sell me something. And now he has made me an offer. And I am just waiting to get to make it happen. And if I was like any other YouTuber, I would be setting up a Patreon page. I'd be setting up a GoFundMe. I would be asking you, the followers of the New 80s Revolution, to donate to me so that I can go buy some toys. But I am preparing myself to purchase a couple of those Rock and Wrestling cartoon vehicles that there's only one or two in existence, and they are in the collection of this person, and they can be mine for $1,800. So that's the big news. That's the big, and I think that would be, I need to own them. I need them. They need to be, knowing my history, knowing, how much what these figures mean to me. No, not Winston brand toy. These are LJNs. These are LJN made, sold to me potentially by somebody who was very involved in creating them. So, like I said, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I want it. I can make the deal right now. I can send the guy $1,800 check today. But but imagine what it would mean to have these things. It would just be, I don't know, kind of the culmination of this collection, culmination of everything that I've done, So anyway, it's coming, maybe. All right, let's get back to the questions. Andrew LaSalle, Jeff Robinson and Andrew were talking. It's good. I love to see that. Ricky, get to Minnesota. We'll go for a ride in the General Lee. Wait a minute. Do you have the General Lee at your disposal, Ricky? All right, skipping through. Yeah, people were guessing about which figure I was going to buy. I'm just catching up. Yeah, LJN's out of the package, and a smell that you will never not remember. All right, I'm scrolling down the bottom to catch up because we were talking about those prototypes that I might buy. Big Beefcake says, donate to me so I can go buy some toys. At least you're on it. No, don't donate to me. If you want to give money to a YouTuber, there's somebody over at another channel that will gladly take your money. There goes another negative, another thumbs down. After them, will you go after the early Japanese toys? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, Mike Tolino, you would have been guessing 50 hours until I told you. Andrew Lascelle, it is a hard purchase to justify. I agree, and I agree with the comment underneath you from Richie Hernandez, who says you only live once, and John Huford, who says once in a lifetime opportunity. I agree, 1,000,000%. I agree. I'm not wealthy. I don't make millions of dollars. My career allows me. I'm blessed. I'm lucky. Whatever you want to call it, to make a decent salary. So, I could buy those prototypes, but I'm nervous. Richie Hernandez, I have not seen you in this channel before. What's your story? Where you been? Have you just joined us? Have you been here forever? Logan says PACW one-man gang versus King Kong Bundy. I got no problem with that. Jeff Robinson, real quick, not wrestling, but did you like the cartoon The Biz Kits? Oh man, that's a throwback. I might need to be refreshed on that one. And we're gonna be doing a cartoon collection video soon. If you watch the theater room tour, then I opened the cabinet real quick and showed you the cartoons. Joe Knee Steel says those prototypes sound like a dream. Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm struggling with so much. They are a dream. I don't know what Zack Ryder's story is. I don't know, but I know what my feelings about this line is and what they meant to my childhood. So it is a dream. Absolutely a dream to own those items. John M. Who is John M? John M, are you new to this channel? I had to make that decision when I pulled the trigger on a loose set of green card WWF Hasbro. Yeah, you gotta, 20 years from now when $1,800, is not a, it's gone and spent and made it back already. And when I sit there and I look at them, not the Wendy Richter one, this would actually be Roddy Piper and King Kong Bundy's vehicles from the non-released, barely produced Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling cartoon toys vehicles. It would be Piper and it would be Bundy. Let's go back up and see what people are talking about. John Hufford says, do you have any Japanese kishis? No. Richie Hernandez, think about it. Money is just a mindset. Agreed. John M, I had to make, yeah, we read that. Big Beefcake, so what's the most expensive figure you have ever bought? I haven't bought LJNs in a long, long time. So my Sergeant Slaughter was about $150 many, many years ago. So that would have probably been the most expensive. The Hart Foundation boxed I found for $300, which is a great price for that. So that would probably have been it. $300 for the Hart Foundation box set. John says you might be pissed at yourself if you let it slip by. I agree 100%. I agree. And that's why it's probably going to happen. And when it does happen, You guys are going to be the first to see it. And I'm not, again, I'm about as, I want to be as humble as I possibly can. I've always been that way on this channel. I am grateful to all of you who even show up to watch my stuff. And you guys are the ones that I want to show the figures to, or the vehicles, if I get them. I'm really getting them for me and you, honestly. If I didn't do this, if I didn't have this channel, I'd admire the prototypes, look at them. I would, I'd be excited to see them, but I probably wouldn't buy them. And a big reason why I would buy them is to share them with you guys, to show them off. Richie Hernandez says, I'm a newbie, but an 80s collector, born in 76, and I'm an 80s kid. I am born in 76 as well. Welcome to the big show, Richie Hernandez. Glad you are here. The phone is just going nuts. What do we got, Andrew? If you had to rank the non-8-inch LJNs, I would go Bendy's, Thumbs, and then Stretch. Curious about your order. That's my order. Stretch are just a gimmick that I, never cared about. Thumbs as well, a little bit better. But Bendy's, there was actually some, I think I was reviewing Bendy's a couple of episodes ago when I was actually talking about what if the Bendy's were the LJNs? What if we didn't get the 8-inch LJNs? What if the Bendy's were our wrestling figures? Would we have been would they have been as iconic as they are today? If LJN 8-inch never existed, but the Bendy's were our figures, would we have cared as much about them? And surprisingly, my answer is yes. I know it's crazy to think about, but my answer is yes. Jeff Robbins says the biscuits were the little puppies that guarded a treasure. Man, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm not familiar. It's just not, I'm blanking out on that one, but it sounds great. Not the Wendy. Oh, we answered that. John M. I'm always here, just don't say much. Okay, well, but I'm glad you're here tonight with us. Logan, PCW, Hogan versus San Martino. Ooh, you're Logan. I don't know if you're in my brain, Logan. Can't say anything about that. John, JYD did have, so it was JYD, it was Hogan, it was Piper, and it was Bundy are the 4 vehicles that were to exist in the Rock and Wrestling line. And I have access to Bundy's, I believe it's a motorcycle, I think. So I think Piper has a car and Bundy has a motorcycle, if I'm remembering. It's been a while since I've drooled over the pictures of what's offered to me. And Piper's car has bagpipes coming out where the exhausts, where the muffler would be, are bagpipes, which is awesome. Toy Back the Clock is here. What's up, N80R? That's me. I was your 6th subscriber, still watching. Keep it going. Wow! Our 6th subscriber is here, guys. So like 2.5 years ago, I started this channel. And if you go back and watch some of those old videos, I'm all subdued and quiet. And I'm like, hey guys, 80s Revolution here. And we're going to talk about some wrestling figures because wrestling figures are great. That was me back then. And for some reason, Toy Back the Clock stuck around. So go back and watch some of those old videos. And I'm reminded, for subscribers now, this hat's getting hot. Subscribers now, you have to apparently hit the bell. Apparently there's a bell that you have to hit that reminds you or updates you when videos come out. And if you're new to the channel and you subscribed, there's a section on my channel that says videos. Hit that and you can watch every single video I've ever made. way back to the early ones. So if you want to see the rookie New 80s Revolution, when back then I was just known as the 80s Revolution. If you want to go watch some rookie videos of mine, just hit the videos tab and just start scrolling down to the bottom and watch some of that old stuff of mine. All right, Jeff Robbins says, I always wondered why they never released anything from Rock and Wrestling Show. I knew about the erasers, but I'm talking actual figures. Me too. It only lasted a season, from what I recall, the cartoon. So maybe it just didn't have. But knowing WWF at the time, I'm surprised that they did not capitalize on the toy world. Even if it was just a season. Dig a Dirt says, dude, make that purchase and hit up Ryder and rub in his face. Yeah. Well, if I did that, he would probably just, flash everything else that he has and make me feel like a turd. Do you prefer the Purple Heart Foundation or the pink ones? Okay, good question. Purple and pink heart foundations are kind of similar. I prefer pink, I guess. ST Jones, to be honest with you, I prefer the red shirt version. I don't know why. That's the one that I had as a kid. My favorites of the variants, I don't know. Probably bearded Kirshner, which is just so weird that there's actually 3 variations of Corporal Kirshner out there, variants. Where are we? Oh, we're way back here. We gotta go to Tom Campbell in the house. Tom Campbell's still here, even though I Jan Brady'd him. Tom Campbell says, what's the most expensive card at LJN out there? All right, so the Black Carded series, which is the final series from '89, there's main figures. I don't want to say common, but there's main figures that were released, to the public, retail, like Warrior, Bossman, Warlord, Rick Rude. But then there were Black Card figures that were basically figures from previous series put onto Black Card, much, much, much more rare. Some examples are Randy Savage, Adrian Adonis, Brutus Beefcake, Big John Studd, I believe even Elizabeth, and Honky Tonk Man, like maybe even a couple more. Those are just so obscure, right? They're just so non-existent that those would probably be considered most expensive, and I don't even have a value for you because they're just never seen. All right. Jeff Robinson says the WCW ring for the glue sucked. I agree. Hard plastic, made a lot of... So the gloobs were hard plastic or hard rubber, and the ring was hard plastic, so that was so loud. So when you're sitting in your room at 11 or 12 years old and you're trying to play with your wrestling figures and they're slamming in this heavy ring and you get in trouble and you get your wrestling figures taken away from you at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, that's... Yeah. What do we got else here? No way the Bendies would have taken off. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Jeff Robinson, was Bundy even on Rock and Wrestling? Nope. Nope, he wasn't. Logan Dowdy, PACW, have Terry Funk and Cowboy Bob Orton team up and win the tag team titles. Wouldn't be the first time that the Wild Desperados were my LJN tag team champions. Toy Back the Clock says, it's been a good ride. Still remember the first videos. Yeah, I remember the first videos too. I don't even go back and watch them because, guys, I just finished. I don't know if this is a problem. I don't know if this is something that I should call somebody about. This is all gone. Anyway, yeah, those old videos are bad. They're just bad. Jeff Robinson I was subscriber number 50 or something. That's awesome. John Huford says, how do you know what number subscriber you were? Well, you can actually, oh no, wait, I think I can scroll through my subscribers and tell you what number you are, but then that wouldn't be correct because we've lost a lot of people along the way. I don't know. Andrew LaSalle, there was a lunchbox. For what? Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling? I want that if it exists. I haven't seen it. Richie Hernandez, did they ever make action figures from Glow? No, they did not. But the new Glow, the Netflix movie, does have 2 Glow figures made from Funko, and they suck. Andrew LaSalle, I also had, oh yeah, white shirt ref, blue shirt ref, those are good variants. Richie, unfortunately, okay. And Afro Andre, short hair or black strap? Good question. Short hair Andre. The second Andre is one of my favorite figures of all time. I don't know why, it just is. Harm Solid Snake. Harm Solid Snake in the house. I have not heard from you in a long time, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Haven't seen you in the comments. Definitely miss you. Harm Solid Snake says, Jason, good to see you. Good to see you too, Harm Solid Snake. Black Card Duggan is not an expensive figure in comparison. It's about a $150 figure. My girlfriend Nina is watching. Can you please give her a shout out? I love her so much. She is the love of my life. Nina, Harm Solid Snake loves you so much. In fact, he and others would consider you the love of his life. So, Nina, I would like to say hello to you as you sit around with Harm Solid Snake. So is his first name Harm and then middle name Solid and Snake, or is first name Harm Solid, no middle name, Snake, last name? Regardless, he loves you. And I want to say hello to you. Eric Munoz, I hear Stud's black card had different color stars on his trunks. I didn't know that, and if it's true, it blows my mind. Ross Modesto, did you watch John Wick yet? Ross Modesto dropping in, and he told me on a video to make sure that I watch John Wick. I have not watched John Wick yet. That reminds me, Liam and I, my boy, we will be doing the Zanini box review. I got August's envelope, but I was told not to review it until after the 12th. We did do a little sneak peek, and there's some pretty cool pins in the Zanini box this month. It's not a popular video on my channel, but it's okay. This guy, Pedro Zanini, reached out to me and said, hey, love your channel. I got some pins. I got a business. Would you review my pins? We'll do like a 6-month deal. I'll send you the pins. You review them. Wow. I'm honored. I'm flattered. Absolutely, I will do that for you. So if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, but you know. Let's see. Arm Solid Snake says, I wouldn't be able to drink that. You okay? I'm okay. No, I'm good. Having a good time. Ate a big steak sandwich before we came down here, so all that steak is soaking up the liqueur. Jason, pour one out for Harley. You're right, Harley Race. rest in peace, Harley Race, King Harley Race. That was a fairly popular video that I did, the tribute to Harley Race, and I certainly appreciate all 621 of you guys checking out that video. Big loss, huge loss. They're all leaving us, guys. All of our heroes, and on this LJN group that I'm a part of on Facebook, I left a comment that said, someday all of our LJNs will be deceased, and that is a messed up thought. That's a hard thought to get into our brain, that eventually all of those guys are gonna be gone. And I don't think we're up to half yet, but at least a third, maybe slightly more, of the LJN figures are deceased. So that is sad. So yes, I will toss the final one back for Harley. Oof. All right. Worst LJN likeness, Orton or anyone else? I don't hate the Orton. I use the Orton a lot, actually, in the Federation as a kid. I didn't like that his arm was, for some reason, tucked way back here. Worst likeness? Man. Geez, Andre 1. Well, I don't know. Andre 1 is a bad figure, but it's kind of close. Jeez. There aren't any. I'm pretty happy with all of them. All right. The old videos are before they were famous videos. Yes. Yeah, sure, Big Beefcake. Those old LJN videos, or LJN, the old New Year's Revolution videos. PACW, Ken Patera versus Ted Arcidi. Oh, I know. That would be the end of PACW. Why did they make an SD Jones figure? Didn't he just job all the time? Maybe in the future I will find out why they made an LJ or a SD Jones LJN figure. Maybe I will find out from one of the people who made the LJN figure. Spoiler, hint, hint, possible upcoming thing in the New 80s Revolution's life. I don't know. I don't. I'd have to. I want to ask. I want to find out the answer for myself. Not only one figure, but two. They made variants of SD Jones. So hopefully in the near future, I will get an answer. You will get an answer. God, this is glitchy. I don't like it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's my internet. It's got to be my internet, right? It's glitchy. Stupid internet. All right, what time is it? It's 10:21, guys. We're going to go for probably another... We're not going to go any later than 11, so we'll stick around a little bit longer. Stotler Man, is there Jesse Ventura variants? There's 3 or more variants for Jesse Ventura, hair color and trunk color. I don't really get into all that, but they're out there. And in the collecting world, people want all the variants. I don't care. There are a few variants that I wanted that I felt were different enough to be actual variants, like SD Jones, like Kirshner with a beard, but the Jesse trunk tone, I don't care about. It cometh a egg. It cometh a egg is here. Ladies and gentlemen, it cometh a egg is a dear, dear friend of the channel. It's one of my favorite YouTube names, screen names. Go check out It Cometh a Egg. Now, if you can't spell it, If you don't even know what I'm saying, just look in the comment section. It cometh a egg. Go check out his stuff. If you like baseball cards, if you like comedy, if you like this new ASMR thing, go check him out. It cometh, you just missed me knocking back a fireball like I'm 23-year-old puking in a dorm. You just missed all that. Logan Dowdy says, have Pedro Morales or Ricky Steamboat win the PACW. Well, I would have Pedro Morales win it, but he doesn't have a figure, Logan. PACW is going to be a meritocracy. Jeff Robinson, I always push Corporal Kirshner in my figure fed. So did I. In fact, you being a longtime listener, longtime follower, will know that my figure fed, I teamed up Corporal Kirshner, SD Jones, and Don Morocco figures. Now, SD Jones was known as Brickhouse Brown in my federation. And Don Morocco was known as Mike Rotunda in my federation. So Corporal Kirshner teamed with Brickhouse Brown and Mike Rotundo, and they were pushed to the moon. Should I wear my hat like this? Let's do it like this for a little while. PACW King Harley Race versus King Haku, who is the real king. That sounds like a good match, too. John Hufford says worst pose is definitely Rude, hands down, no question. Maybe Protera no human is purple. I love that. That is something that I noticed and loved ever since I had him. Was what is the deal with the diabetes or high blood pressure Ken Patera, like an eggplant? It's awesome. Let's see, Mr. Persky in the house. He says or Harley Race and Haku as a tag team, the two toughest guys in wrestling. That's a good idea. I like that. I did use Haku a lot, even though he's got that weird play pose. I did not use Harley Race a lot. Hat's good now. Done with the hat. Got the hair going now. No more hat. All right. Strike Force. Oh, Eric Munoz says, I don't know why I always wish LJN made a Moondog spot figure. I agree. I wish the Moondog tag team existed as LJNs. I think, we talked about which figures or which guys deserved figures. Definitely the Moondogs. I agree. Strike Force, Tito or original, says Andrew LaSalle. Probably original. The Strike Force Tito came later in my collecting life. In fact, I never had him as a kid. So Tito, the original Tito, was just more, I use that figure a lot. Turn up my sound, please. I don't know how to turn up my sound. I don't know how to do that. Hang on. Let me see if I can. What's up, everybody with the big head here? I don't know. I just turned up the volume on the phone. I don't know if that did it for you. Eric Munoz, was Jesse a commentator or a wrestler in your promotion? I didn't use commentators. I used Mean Gene as the ring announcer, and then Mean Gene as the the interview guy. But I never used McMahon. I never used. I never had commentators. So he was a wrestler, but barely. I never used Jesse, actually. Nothing but love from It Cometh a Egg. Same from me, my man. Mr. Persky, LJN should have made the Rougeau brothers. Never understood why they didn't. They were there from 86 to 89. I agree. I just jumped way ahead. It Cometh a Egg is lurking. Of course you are. Andrew LaSalle, Bravo was the biggest oversight. Agreed. Dino Bravo needed to be made. Let's see what else. Logan Dowdy thought Don Morocco was Pedro Morales. That's okay, Logan. Johnny writes. Johnny writes. Johnny writes, I have literally never seen you in the comment section. Johnny writes, are you new to the channel? How did you find the New 80s Revolution? Johnny writes. Adonis had an awkward play pose, as Andrew Lassalle agreed. They made the bees too skinny and too small. They're tiny, height-wise, just like the British Bulldogs are tiny. Scott Zilla says, turn up your sound, please. I don't know how to do that. Logan Dowdy says, I wish the U.S. Express had an LJN team. Okay. That is actually the number one figure that I wish were made by LJN, Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo, the U.S. Express. Orndorff was so tall, says John Herford. Yes, he was. He was huge. Johnny Wrights is here, late to the party. Which LJN deserved a variant? Good question. Maybe the British Bulldogs with the baby blue Union Jack trunks, tights, maybe. That's about it, I'd say. Maybe Beefcake in a different outfit, different color pattern, but I'd go with the Bulldogs. Scottzilla, okay, hello, you're in stereo, love your videos. Thank you, my man. Scottzilla, how long you been with us, man? How long you been on the channel? I haven't seen you in the comments. Glad to see you here. How long you been here with us? Rick Rude was the worst figure, not very playable. Not playable at all, Jeff Robinson. Just totally not playable. Dig a dirt. Forget about John Wick. Watch Keanu Reeves' Sesame Street deep fake video on YouTube. Better than all 3 weeks combined. I will do that. That deep fake thing is blowing my mind. I want to be a deep fake. I watched one today with, and I don't remember, I don't know the guy's name, but there's a Full House one out there with some guy. I don't know. He's probably on some modern TV show. Mike Tyson does a deep fake with Family Matters, which is outstanding, but I want to be a deep fake. Johnny writes, down for the longest admin in LJN Figures and Custom. Oh, Johnny writes from, all right, man, from the Facebook group. I'm glad to see somebody from the few Facebook groups that I'm a part of is here. Johnny writes, runs LJN Figures and Customs on Facebook. Go check it out. If you're my friend on Facebook, if you're on the New 80s Revolution or the Jason Knupp, KASONKNUPP on Facebook, I can get you into the LJN Figures and Customs board group. And there is a fantastic t-shirt that Figures and Customs group has, and I must have it. It is the first 5 LJNs in like white chalk line or white outline, like silhouette, with the LJN figures. So this is a group that is all about the LJNs, but is also all about customs. And there are some incredible customizers out there who make some pretty amazing figures. And I want one of those t-shirts. Johnny writes, tell me how to get one of those t-shirts. I need one in XX because I'm a little large. All right, Logan Dowdy, PACW, Kamala versus Axe. Not bad. Andrew Lassalle, Oop, I lost you. All right, Andrew Lassalle. I gotta catch up here. We got 26 of you in here. That's awesome. Andrew's favorite manager in the line. I'm the only person I know who prefers the Johnny V figure to the others I ever got as a kid. Um, I don't know why I remember that, but it is. That's the final LJN figure that I got for Christmas. It was so Christmases from like age 9 or 8 to 13 or so, I would always get LJNs. And there was one final Christmas where Johnny V was the only LJN figure under the tree, and an era came to an end. My favorite manager, I'm thinking just manager that I use the most. Actually, it was probably Jimmy Hart. I probably used Jimmy Hart a lot, and of course Bobby Heenan. Mr. Fuji had a lot of action in my LJN Fed. They all did. Captain Lou was actually a wrestler in my LJN Fed. He was the executioner. A Barry Windham LJN would have been awesome. I agree, Jeff Robinson. Andrew LaSalle, DiBiase with trunks or Piper without a shirt. Agreed 1,000,000%. Add Honky Tonk Man in wrestling gear to that list as well. Greg deserved a variant with the black hair, Rhythm and Blues. What year was Rhythm and Blues? That was like 90, 91. So the LJN line would have been long gone by then. Union Jack with Matilda, agreed. John, I still need a blue trunk Barry Windham Galoob. Let me see if I have one. I don't. I do not. Barry Windham blue trunks is not part of my LJN or my Galoob collection. You probably couldn't hear anything I just said. Barry Windham blue trunks is not in my collection either. Godzilla says I've been on over a year. Great. I'm thrilled to have you here. Thank you. Wyndham was my favorite Galoob. Guys, I love Galoob figures. I really, really, really love the Galoob figures. They are my second favorite line. To me, they're like mini LJNs. They're like, you know, little 3.5-inch or 4-inch LJN figures. Hard rubber, hard plastic. I love the Galoob figures. Love, love, love them. Wish they would have continued forever. Where are we at here? 10:35. We're going to go for another 25 minutes, boys and girls. Mr. Persky, if LJN had the license 2 more years, we would have had a Ric Flair figure. Ugh. Dare to dream, Mr. Persky. Seth Anderson, Yankees questions. Did you see they were playing the White Sox in Iowa 2020 at the Field of Dreams Farm? Only 8,000 tickets. That would be epic. Yes, that would be epic. And the Yankees live is on my bucket list. I've been a Yankees fan since the Yes Network started, which I think was 95 maybe. But I would love to be a part of that Field of Dreams game. Now, I think there's an actual stadium next to the Field of Dreams movie, lot. I think, I hope, I mean, it's got to be a regulation field, right? So I don't know if it's announced that they're going to be playing a preseason game there, spring training, or a regular game. The games in London were like home run derbies. So, I don't know what's up with that. But 8,000 tickets, ladies and gentlemen, to a Major League Baseball game. What an intimate moment that would be. But the Yankees, I've never been to Yankee Stadium. I live in New York, but I'm in upstate New York. I'm about 6 hours away from New York City. I've never seen New York City. I've never been to New York City. It's practically it's another world to me. But being in Yankee Stadium with my boy, and I do have 2 boys. I never talked about my second boy. I love him just the same, I promise. But he's 3, and we don't, Liam and I have like we're pals. We have a friendship. And the 3-year-old is just starting to kind of develop into a human, And so, but when Liam and I will someday be behind the catchers, behind home plate at Yankee Stadium. Those tickets are stupidly priced. Like front row, second row, third row behind the catcher, we're talking $2,200 a piece. But it's one of those things that I have to do in my life. And so I'll clear out a credit card and put $4,000 on a credit card to go sit and, pay it off in 3 years and sit behind home plate at Yankee Stadium someday. And I'll tell you when, and you guys can watch me on the S Network. All right. You paid for dinner for 2 wrestlers. I am no troll. Scottzilla, I never thought you were a troll. I'm just glad to see you here. I did. I paid for dinner for, I paid Jimmy Snuka and Paul Orndorff's dinner. And his wife, Jimmy Snuka's wife, too. $89 and a $20 tip. Yeah, a moment of my life. Very great. And then when I met Paul Orndorff the next day, because it was at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, when I met him the next day, he signed an autograph to me, and then at the bottom he wrote, "Thanks for dinner." How great is that? Okay, what else? Hungarian guy who's still here. That's awesome. This was mentioned earlier, but was there really a Killer Khan figure made? Any others that weren't released? Okay, so no, there was never a Killer Khan figure made. There was a mold of a Killer Khan figure that was kept very private and somebody's home. Basically, the guy who made the figure had the mold. And so basically, I'm telling you to watch The Toys That Made Us on Netflix. The next series is going to include the LJNs, and it's going to include, during the LJN segment, it's going to include a couple of interviews with a couple of people who were very involved with the LJNs back in the day. Watch that show. Get familiar with one of those guys, and then maybe he'll be here with me someday. Who knows? So there was a mold of Killer Khan, and that was supposed to be released. There was supposed to be a Killer Khan LJN, and now they are reproducing that basically and selling it to 5 people, and they're already accounted for, and Zack Ryder's one of them. All right, where are we at here? We're down to 19 minutes, boys and girls, and then I'm going to bed. All right. Let's see where we left off. John Hefford said, I picked up a Brainbusters custom. That is tight. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the LJN Figures and Customs board on Facebook, the group, really some amazing work done. There's one guy in particular who just knocks it out of the park. I'm not gonna mention him because I don't know if he wants to be YouTube famous, but there's a customizer in that group who his stuff looks like it was made, like it was a legitimate LJN figure. I mean, customs. Look, and I'm not the biggest fan of customs because I don't like when you take an Iron Sheik figure and you put on some face paint and you call it Road Warrior Animal, right? It's still the Iron Sheik to me, but this guy kills it with his customs, and a lot of guys on that group kill it with their customs. Let's see where we at. Johnny Wright says, Mike Smith made a few other shirts. Let me know. I will hook me up. Oh, I was only kidding. But yes, wants to walk around town and promote that LJN Customs, that channel, by the way. I don't know. I've left a few comments along the way. But anyway, t-shirts. Subliminal Methods t-shirts. T-shirts. Logan Dowdy says PACW Big Boss Man versus Iron Sheik. Logan Dowdy really wants to see PACW exist. John Hufford, Miss Liz had action. There's actually, this is a true story. You ready for this one? Now, again, because I'm talking to this guy who wants to sell me some stuff, there's actually a nude Miss Elizabeth figure, LJN. It was done as a joke amongst the boys in the factory, but there is a Miss Elizabeth figure with the original pose that she was going to have. And the original pose that she was going to have was well, you can't see it, but one hand was going to be on her hips, right? So the Liz figure, you know, the Liz figure is like this or whatever, but like that. But the prototype is nude and has detail, and there's only a handful of those that were pretty much just made as a joke and tossed around to some of the guys who work for LJN. So that's pretty cool. All right. John Hufford says the UK Barry Windham is hard to get. Yeah. Andrew, ever get into Jack's Classic Superstars line? Yes, I did. I had Jack's Classic Superstars I collected twice. So when they first started coming out, I was buying them and was absolutely head over heels in love with them, and bought every series. I would skip guys like Triple H and whatever. Jeff Robinson is leaving us. He's going to bed, probably because the nurses came in and gave him some sleeping pills because he's in the freaking hospital. And he's been in the hospital longer than... Oh, Bobby Campbell's trying to join us. He's been in the hospital longer than anybody ever ruined in my whole life. But I hope Jeff Robinson gets out soon. Good night, sir. Sleep well. We're praying for you. We're rooting for you. We're thinking about you. We're sending you good wishes. Make sure you get yourself out of the hospital soon. Thank you. Now that's a true fan. A guy who's laying up in the hospital joins our live chat. That's amazing. All right. So yeah, I did get into the LJN or the Classic Superstars. I loved them when they first came out, and then I didn't like them anymore, and then I sold them all. Ow. And then a couple of years later, I bought them all back again. I started collecting them again, and then I sold them all. So I'm pretty much done with Classic Superstars, but I did love them. Joe Smith, yo, is it live? Yes, Joe Smith, we're doing it live. We're doing it live. Let's do it live. We're here, Joe Smith. Joe Smith is a friend of the channel, big friend of the channel, very generous donator to the channel, sent me some lovely stuff, and Joe Smith is right up on the top shelf of fans of the channel. Frank Cuevas is here. He wants to know what I thought of the Young Bucks LJN. Mind, the product let me down, and the fact that we haven't heard anything about them since the Young Bucks is disappointing. Mr. Persky, you have to get to MSG for a wrestling event at least once. First one for me was December 86 at the Garden. The Tag Team Battle Royal. I have that. So, Mr. Persky, do you have a copy of that event? Because I do. I have the MSG Tag Team Battle Royal show. So basically, MSG in 86, and I hate that this is glitching still. I hate that this is glitching. But anyway, I keep saying LJN. MSG, December 86, basically they put in a gimmick show that was, at the main event was a tag team battle royal. So like 20 guys, 10 tag teams, all in the ring. So you know what they're going to do. They're going to have singles matches all throughout the card of the tag team. So they would just break up the tag team. So basically, it's kind of a throwaway show. Nothing was going to happen, but it was a fun little gimmick show. So Mr. Persky, I have that on disc. So if you need a copy of the show that you were at, let me know. I have it, and I can burn you a copy. Scottzilla says, love you, man. Keep content up. Thank you, Scottzilla. I love you too. And I mean that. Eric Munoz, I grew up walking distance from Yankee Stadium as a kid. I saw Reggie Jackson play. It was epic. Yeah, that's just beautiful history. Eric Hansen in the house, awesome channel man. Bruiser Brody, we got a big fan of Bruiser Brody. Eric Hansen, how long have you been with us? I have not seen you in the comments section before. It's nice to see you dropping in. Andrew Sell, the Rock and Wrestling Customs are amazing. Yeah, they are amazing. And now we're going back a little ways and talking about the there's a guy on the Facebook in the LJN and Customs group who makes Rock and Wrestling Customs. This guy is beyond talented. He makes custom figures based on the cartoon figures. And they're so great. I mean, when I tell you that these do not look like customs, they look like real produced figures. I'm telling you 100% the truth. And he just made, I think if it's the same guy, he just made a Heart Foundation cartoon style figure, and they are amazing. And I don't know if he sells them, but I need them because they're awesome. We're down to 11 minutes, guys. Let's see. Jeff Robinson headed to bed. Good night, sir. Eric Munoz, good thing Macho Man didn't know about Naked Lizzie, would have killed the whole LJN staff. Yes, he would have. That's a good one. Eric Hansen versus Bruiser Brody versus Abdullah the Butcher. Those matches freaked me out in the 80s. Agreed. Those guys were actually scary. There are a few wrestlers that I was scared of as a kid. Kamala was one of them. Abdullah the Butcher was one of them. And the Missing Link was one of them. I was legitimately scared of as a kid. Johnny writes, thanks for the shout out. Oh, you got it, Johnny writes. Logan Dowdy, I have the DVD of WrestleMania 3. I do too. Mr. Persky, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. I will check it out if I have. Yeah, let me know if you have it. Andrew LaSalle, the Howard Foundation ones are sweet. Yes, they are. Eric Munoz, did you listen to the Jim Cornette Experience put on YouTube maybe a few days after he does the podcast? I like Jim Cornette. I think that he's probably one of the most brilliant people in wrestling. He's opinionated. He's got stuff to say about people, and he gets into it with people. But Jim Cornette has been around the business since like 1981. Before he was a manager, he would take photos. He was a photographer, and this is the same story for Paul Heyman. These guys would just, I don't know what deal they had or how they got in. It's a different time back then. And they were good with a camera, and they would take photos. And I don't know if they'd sell the photos to magazines. I assume they did, but that's how they both got in business. And that's how Jim Cornette got in. And when he became a manager in the NWA of the Midnight Express, the guy was like 23 years old, and just played his character to a T. And obviously controversial but he's been around the wrestling business since he was like 19 years old. I love Jim Cornette. So anyway, Logan Dowdy, have you seen matches of the Missing Link? Yes. So Missing Link is on a few. So Missing Link was in the WWF for a really brief period of time, like 3 months in '85, and he was on a few MSG matches. I never really saw him like in any competitive matches. It was always squash matches. He wrestled more. He got involved with more storylines in Mid-South and World Class Championship Wrestling. So if you want to see like true Missing Link footage, go look up Mid-South and WCCW. Andrew LaSalle, Billy Jack Haynes had more playability than a lot of guys who were pushed harder. I agree. Billy Jack Haynes is a good LJN figure. We're down to 7 minutes, guys, 8 minutes. This has been fun tonight. I've enjoyed hanging out with all of you guys. Really, 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 truly enjoyed it. Thanks for coming on and hanging out. Bill Leonair, I like when you talk about LJN. Well, thank you, Bill. How long have you been with this channel? Bill. Mr. Percy says, I have the WrestleMania box set of the first 13 Manias on VHS. WWF actually released the original pay-per-view versions, not the Coliseum videos. They actually played. Yeah, that's good stuff. It's good to have those original pay-per-view releases of the Super shows. I actually have a couple right off of In Demand pay-per-view was what we had, and I have some that have the 30-minute countdown, which is pretty cool to see. Eric Hansen, the night of the Skywalker, Jim Cornette broke his knee. Yes, Jim Cornette fell off the scaffold and did break his knee, and that is such a great era of NWA wrestling. Logan Dowdy says, I hope you do more streams. I will, absolutely. I did more. I look down and look at my laptop, which is right here in front of me. That's how I read all your questions. It's freezing. I have no idea why. I'm down in the basement. Maybe it's the again, how annoying. Michael Radke, Missing Link and Dr. D. David Schultz would have been the ultimate LJNs had they stuck around. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Michael Radke. What's up, Michael Radke? Fearsome Flush. Andrew LaSalle, best possible match between LJN guys who are still alive. I'm thinking Orndorff versus Martel or Steamboat. Good one. I always used to like Greg Valentine LJN, so I'm thinking Steamboat versus LJN, or Steamboat versus Valentine, right? Both in their prime. I don't know. John Hufford says, thanks for the live stream. Love talking old school wrestling with you and everybody. Thank you for joining us, man. You've been with us for a while, obviously, on the channel, and you've been with us a while. To Jim Cornette recently in MLW taping in Chicago. Love Cornette. That sounds awesome. Michael Radke says, music edits suck. Music edits do suck. Really, really bad. Part of the, part of the thrill, the love, the allure of that era of wrestling was the soundtrack. I mean, it was, how can you have the Midnight Express with generic music? How can you have the Freebirds with generic music? How can you have Hogan with anything other than Eye of the Tiger? It's just not the same. Michael Persky says, a shame no LJN Gorilla Monsoon was made. Agreed, a gazillion %. Andrew LaSalle, wrestling album or Pile Driver? Wrestling album, hands down. I never owned Pile Driver. It's got some good tunes, but the wrestling album is so fun. There's like little skits in between each song with Jesse, Vince McMahon, and capture of that era. Richie Hernandez says, I'm not a WWF collector, but I love your passion for the 80s. Well, thanks, man. This channel started with me talking about LJN figures, but it morphed into something so much more, and it will continue to grow into all things 80s. Love you, Michael Radke. Thank you very much. I was just waiting for it to catch up. Bill Lionair, weird that there was no full demolition. LJN's totally weird. That's one of like the most unexplained mysteries of the LJN line. John Hufford, Vince pulls a Saturday Night Fever video. Yeah, he did. It's true. Vince McMahon doing Stand Back. Just beautiful. Go back and watch some of those old TNTs on the WWE network. And we're going to catch up with those eventually on the Wrestling with the Past show that I'm going to be doing. It is coming. Absolutely is coming. I always like the old vintage magazines. I have a bunch of them, and we're going to go through them page by page and talk about some of the memories. Are the Young Bucks more like, they're more like the WCW ones? They're the same. They're actually a little bit taller than LJNs, which is so weird, but they're harder rubber from what I've heard. Okay, guys, so it's ready to go. I have always appreciated hanging out with you guys. I am always... How's the vintage LJN collection? It's coming. It's sitting right over here. It's not a lot. I got some stuff. I don't want to give away too much, but There's stuff. I don't want to show you too much, but it's coming. It's coming along. Guys, I'm out. I'm gonna go now. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you for making me still interested in doing this channel. Thank you for coming on and watching me and leaving comments. All of your comments are always so great to read. Thank you all so much. It is 11 o'clock on my side of the world. Go to sleep. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you again real soon. Good night now. I said good night now.